Welcome back again to Women's World Show Social Distancing Edition. Here we use the breakthrough moment and word of a successful woman to inspire and motivate you. We measure success not by the amounts of money in the pocket, but by the effort one makes on daily basis to achieve their goal. We believe that every woman has a story. So share yours with us, and my name is Clara Kronberg. Joining me today is a lawyer, a feminist, an activist, an entrepreneur, and the founder of She for She Parts. She will be discussing with us feminism in Africa. It's going to be a very good section. I love her. She is Mary Consolata Namagabe. I've been practicing this name and I hope I did it justice. So let's welcome my guest. So nice to have you here, Mary. Welcome to Women's Watch Show again.
Thank you so much.
You know why I said...
Looking forward to this.
Me too, I have. Why I say it again is because, of course, we have invited you to our Instagram to talk about yourself and the amazing job that you are doing. And I say to myself, you deserve a show of itself. I'm going to start with asking you, what does feminism mean to you?
For me, as a young Black girl, feminism means a lot to me because I come from a generation of women that have fought for me to be where I am today. I'm come from a generation of women that have not been educated, have had no sense of education, but have seen it as an importance for me to get an education. When my grandfather died, his last word was, "I want my little wife to have an education." I have three brothers, so because of that, and because of the strong women I've had in my life, I can only be a feminist. I can only be a feminist and create a way for other young girls to have the same opportunities as I have.
So why do you identify yourself as a feminist? Because would you say it's because you think that women of our mother's age or our grandmother's age did not have that, will I say, privilege to express their feminism?
Exactly. And I also call myself my ancestors' wildest dreams because I am everything that my grandmothers could not be. I remember when I turned 30, I decided to go to Iceland by myself to celebrate my 30-year-old birthday. And I remember sitting in this flight by myself, have ordered a hotel in Iceland, and thinking, this is amazing. I'm 30, I'm not married, I'm traveling to Iceland because I want to go to Iceland. How many women before me have even had an opportunity to choose who they're going to marry?
That's right.
You see? So I think for me that I have this opportunity to be me 100%. I have to, how can I not be a feminist? How can I not reach something else for other women that I have in my life?
You know, that's a very great point you made out there. Something like sitting in an airplane thinking, I just want to have a girls trip. And actually that's, you know, thinking about it is true. Most of us expresses our feminism in different ways, even people that are married, depending on, you know, who we are and how we express ourselves. Having said that, how do you think that we can bring up children or our young girls can cue in this mindset of owning their own voice?
I think it begins from home. For example, I have my nieces, and I try not to tell them what girls can do and what boys can do. Because I also remember when I was younger, and my mom still does this with my nieces, or tell me, sit like a woman. And I would tell my mom, how does women sit and how do men sit? Do we both have legs? Yes, we do. So this thing of, oh, girls don't talk like that. Don't raise your voice. so I think it starts from home, raising your kids as individuals.
Wow.
Don't put norms on them that you have from your culture. Let your kids be themselves. So this is what I try to do with my nieces. Like one of my nieces, she loved planes. I'm like, oh, you're gonna be a pilot. The other one, she's like, I want to open up a saloon. I'm like, no, she was like, I want to work in a saloon. And I was like, yeah, but you can own a saloon. Do you know that?
Yeah.
And then she was like, okay, if I own a saloon, what should I do? And she's like, Auntie is saying that, she calls me saying that, and began saving for my own saloon. Do you see that mindset of not being like, oh, don't do saloons? Because that's what my parents, I remember telling my parents that I wanted to sew clothes when I was young. And my mom was like, no. Don't do that. But my mom could have told me, you can own a brand,
Exactly.
you know? So again, start talking to kids as their individuals. Don't look at them as just a gender, but embrace who they are with the respect of they can be anything they want, regardless of their gender.
Amazing. Let's talking about owning a brand. I know you are the founder of She for She Parts, which is okay.
Yes.
Let me leave it to you. Tell us about She for She Part. Why did you start this organization, this brand?
So I grew up in Denmark. And growing up in Denmark, I got my first period in Denmark. And for me, I was so excited. Like I was the last one in my class to get my period. I had boobs, I had everything. But I was like, where's my menstruation? And then when I was 15, it came and I was so happy. I could not wait to tell my friends about this because everybody was like, do you have your period? Do you have your period? And then going back to Uganda, and then I was informed that girls that goes at my former primary school don't attend school when they have their pads. And being this privileged Danish girl, I'm like, why? Like pads are everywhere. You can go to the stores and buy them. But here I was faced with another reality that girls can't afford to buy pads. That's one thing. And the second thing is they are too expensive. And then they will use like old clothes. And we are not talking about H&M t-shirts they just bought. This is old clothes that a mice has bitten in. They will use their old books or old newspapers. And then they will fold them and put them under as pads. And I was like, we were in 2018. I was like, this cannot be that girls, one, they use this as menstruation products. And second, that in regards to them not attending school 5 days a week, this means they cannot compete with boys when they have their exams.
Exactly.
So girls get lower grades, that's one thing. If they get out of school when they're done, they cannot compete with the boys at the market because they'll be looking at their grades and be like, why don't you have higher grades? And I was like, for us to have gender equality in Uganda and to use the resources of our people, we need the girls to stay in school while they're having their menstruation. So I came back to Denmark, did a prototype of reusable pads, went back to my old school, St. Joseph in Masaka. And then I decided to give them out to the girls so they could try them on. And then they gave me a feedback. Some of them thought they were too big, they were too long. So we tried to make the perfect pad for them. And then when I came to Denmark, I did a crowdfunding where we got 100,000 in krona within 2 months. And then I moved back to Uganda. And I started this company called She for She, where we produce reusable organic pads. And today we've been to Kenya, Senegal, Tanzania, Gambia, where these pads have been distributed to schoolgirls. And we have kept around 5,000 girls in school.
So is it affordable for the kids as well, for the girls?
Yeah, so our business model is a bit different because one thing that I was focusing on was that I wanted to create a company on the continent. I didn't want to import pads from China. I wanted us to have a business
Made
made in Uganda.
or Uganda.
Exactly. So right now, as we are still a small company, it's better for me as entrepreneur to have organizations buying our pads so we can give them to schoolgirls. So that is how that is the business plan we have, or model we have, that big organizations can buy from us, and there with that we can employ more Ugandan women that can work for us, because as we are the first company in East Africa that makes organic reusable pads. And
amazing.
so since they are organic, right now Ugandans that we are trying to target cannot afford them. So that's why we want sponsors to buy them from us, and then we give them to the people. Because
Right.
again, I didn't just want to make a product to just make a product and be like, hey, Instagram, look at me. I wanted to make a product that I can use. I wanted to make a product that I was proud of. And I also wanted to make a product when I came to these schools in rural areas where these girls have never sometimes received a present. And when they opened them and they were like, am I going to bleed on this? I'm like, yes. So, yes.
Oh, amazing. You have really been doing so well. And I have seen the product, but I need you. Can you please show us the pad here? Do you have it?
I don't have the pad right here. I'm sorry about that. I'm not at home. Sorry.
Ah, okay, no problem.
Yes.
Oh, I have seen it and it's really beautiful because you made it that there is a morning one, afternoon, and night. So they actually can now watch the one that they've used daytime and then use the nighttime, and then they can reuse it again, which is fantastic. So, and like we always say, to give a girl child a voice, they need this confidence. There was something that you actually mentioned, a girl that killed herself because she had a menstrual stain and she went home and killed herself. Can you tell us more, highlight more about that?
Yes, the thing is, like when we talk about pads, if people forget that it's not just a pad, because when we give a packet of she for she pads to schoolgirls, one, imagine a girl not thinking of what she's going to use as a menstrual product. Imagine every month when, like, I know when I'm getting my period, but imagine the anxiety you're gonna have as a young girl wanting to go to school, not having products, thinking about, am I going to use leaves? What am I going to use so I can go to school, not stay at home? So a party is not just a pad. A party is a way where girls don't get stressed, they are more comfortable, and they are concentrating in class. And in regards to the story in Kenya, you can see that a pad is not just a pad, because there was an incident whereby a girl killed herself in Kenya because she came to school. It was not the first time, but her parents could not afford to buy her pads. So, of course, she bled through. As so many girls on the continent, she was teased. People pointing fingers at her, asking her, "Did you kill a chicken? Why are you bleeding? What's wrong with you?" And imagine being a teenager. And I remember, like, when I bled through, and people would look at me, and I would go home. I'd be like, oh my God, who saw me bleeding through? So she went home and killed herself because kids were teasing her because of that. And this is the worst case that can happen, and that's why I say that a pad is not just a pad. But the other instances are that girls, they drop out of school. They tell their parents, I'm not going back to that class because they've been teasing me. Girls become pregnant because they find themselves older boyfriends that are giving them nothing but just money to buy a pad and having sex with them. Girls selling themselves. There are studies showing that girls will sell themselves to be able to buy pads. Girls getting HIV of having sex with older men. So this, it's not just a pad, but it's a life-changing product. But as us, you and me, privileged women, don't think about it.
Exactly.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And that's why it's when I heard about your brand and what you stand for, I was like, oh, I have to speak with her because you really are giving these young women voice. We talk about, teaching a woman how to fish. We talk about giving a woman voice to fight for herself. This is where you stand for starts confidence. If you don't have confidence, you can't approach the things that you actually want in life. So I'm a big fan of Chimamanda Adichie. And do you know her? Do you know her?
I love her. I love her.
Uh-huh, yes, of course. I am a big fan. And there's this quote that she made in one of her presentations. And it says, a feminist is a man or a woman who says, yes, there is a problem with gender as it is today. And we must fix it. We must do better. What do you think, in your own opinion, that we can do to fix it or do better?
I think for me, especially having two homes, Uganda and Denmark, we have different problems when it comes to gender equality. But if I take Uganda as an example, I think for me, what we must do to fix um, gender equality in Uganda, for example, is for me to understand that tradition is something we can make and unmake. And we also have to understand, who does our traditions benefit? Does it benefit the entire country, or does it benefit only the man? And for me, when it comes to traditions and norms, I always tell people whatever is man made can always be changed. So that is one thing. The second thing is, again, don't try to tell me that my vagina defines me. Don't tell me that my vagina defines when I have to have kids. Don't tell me that my vagina tells me that I have to cook for you because I have a vagina. Don't tell me that my vagina tells me if I have a voice or not. It is just a vagina, you know? But because I was born with one, it limits me in so many ways until a man says, okay, now you can speak. Now your vagina is okay. It belongs here.
It belongs to you, actually.
Exactly. So for me, it's the thing of being controlled and also having women, because I feel that women are, we are each other's worst enemy. Each
I,
other's worst enemy.
hmm.
You have women, for example, in my village, I always talk freely about who I am, what I do, and yes, I do have sex, and yes, I enjoy sex. I even talk about, like with women, about orgasms and what a clit is, because I talk the way I talk, and but I also tell women that, hey, your sexuality is your sexuality. You can also enjoy yourself. It's not only your husband. Your body is not just to lie there, and when he's done, he's done. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So having these conversations with women, there are women that will accept to listen to you, but there are also women that look at me as this bewitched person who is trying to 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 like bring chaos to the African family, or I'm trying to empower women in my village by telling them, hey, you can say no. And I remember a friend of ours, because her husband beat her because she goes out and comes back at 7 o'clock. But the husband comes back at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And then women in the village were like, but she deserves it. Why does she go out until 7 o'clock? Remember, these are women saying it's okay to beat another woman. And you know why? Because she's free and she wants to express herself. And when you show that you are free and you want to express yourself, other women become intimidated by you. So again, when we talk about gender equality, we should not only look at men as an issue, but we should also look at women. How are we holding each other back as women? Do we accept that we are not a homogeneous size as women? Do we accept that we are different? And what do we do to women that try to be different, that try to have a voice, that try to have an education, or who says, I don't want to marry you, or I don't want to have kids? How do we treat them as women?
Yeah. Wow. That is very insightful. And I want to ask here, have there been any incident in your life that actually pointed out to you, okay, I need to do more for my voice to be heard, for people to know that we need equality in our society in Africa?
I think definitely working with She for She, traveling in different African countries, hearing voices from different women and girls, just that has impacted my life. And also, I think that having the privilege of living the life that I have, having the privilege that I could go to school in Denmark, have a master's in law today without paying for it, having a privilege of having an apartment, traveling around the world because I want to as a woman, just because of my privileges, I cannot just sit back and watch other women not being empowered. So I think by being blessed with the life I have, I feel that everybody who has an opportunity to be blessed, we should always give back, because I really do believe that the way the world will remember us is from how many souls we have touched. And I feel it's really important to give back. I really feel that if you have been blessed to read a book, make sure that 10 other girls can read books.
Exactly. I believe in your project so much, and that is why I thought, oh, she has to come in. So thank you once more for sharing that opinion with us, and I hope to see you sometime soon again.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening.
You too. I'm a big fan of women that uses their voice right. Really amazing. I think also the day I will meet Chimamanda, Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, I will literally melt away. Yes, I'm saying this out here. What they stand for, gives me more push to be better every day. It makes me so proud to be a woman. And working hard to bring this platform, Women's World Show, closer to you even makes it easier. Their journey, their story makes it easier. You, Mary, sharing your story today makes it easier for me to bring this platform closer to everyone. And we will not relent. Thank you for watching this episode. I will see you on the next social distancing edition in Women's World Show. Stay safe out there. Thank you for clicking on Women's World Show YouTube channel. Please remember to subscribe for more interesting videos like this. Remember, some of the videos might even make you laugh and some might make you cry. But of course, you get inspired, motivated, and more even elevated. See you on the next video on Women's World Show.